19 years of NCAA women's gymnastics, and only 4 schools have earned this treasured prize. Two-time defending champion Georgia has a three-peat locked in their sights. Michigan is yet to claim the title, but they enter as the nation's top-ranked team. UCLA has veteran leadership. Can they put it all together today for a return trip to the winner's podium? Utah has won the national championship 9 times. 3-time national champion Alabama and a talented Nebraska round out the Super Six. The 2000 NCAA National Gymnastics Championship is next. We're in the beautiful Northwest, where the desert meets the Rocky Mountains. And now inside the pavilion on the campus of Boise State University.
Raise the roof and raise it high. In our team there is no I. UCLA,
But this is when payoff time comes. So you guys go out there and have a good time, relax, and do your thing. Okay? Do an R.
There we go.
All right.
Everyone. All right.
Welcome to the Treasure Valley in Boise, Idaho, where the hunt is on for the national championship in women's gymnastics. Hello, everyone. I'm Bill McAtee, and we have some powerhouse schools competing for the national championship today in the Super Six, beginning with the University of Alabama, Georgia, Michigan, Nebraska, UCLA, and Utah. And I'm joined today by Olympic gold medalist Amanda Borden. And Amanda, typically there is a dominant team heading into this time of the year. Last year it was the University of Georgia. Coming in, they hadn't lost a meet in 2 years. That's not the case this year.
That's right. It's going to be a very tight competition. The defending champs, University of Georgia, look great. They're led by Christy Litchie. Last year she had her sister with her. This year she has to be the team leader, and they're looking for a three-peat. But it's not going to be easy. They have the #1 ranked team, University of Michigan, led by senior Sarah Kane, and they're looking for their first NCAA title. But we can't forget the favored UCLA with the senior trio of Mohini Bahardwash, Lena Dikteva, and Heidi Moneymaker. They led the Bruins to a first-place finish in the preliminaries, and if they compete like they did in the prelims, they're going to be tough to beat.
And you can't overlook Nebraska. They beat Michigan in the preliminaries, and they're led by the individual all-round champion, Heather Brink. Here's a look at the first rotation. Nebraska on the vault, Utah on bars. Michigan will start on the beam. UCLA on the floor. Alabama and Georgia have buys. 6 gymnasts for each team perform on every apparatus during the rotation. All 6 are scored, but only 5 are counted. Big test early for Michigan. There's Bev Polacki. Michigan ranked #1 on the beam coming in, but they struggled during the preliminaries with 2 falls, so they had to count 1. And on the beam for Michigan, here's the freshman Cammie Singer.
Starting on the beam can be very difficult. You have a lot of adrenaline. It's the first event. You're very excited. But they need to get focused, and they need to control it. Mounting with a very difficult punch front, the slight wobble. It's a switch leap to a double stag ring. That is a required leap series. Preparing for her tumbling pass. Nice back handspring layout, very solid.
At times, this can have the appearance of a 4-ring circus, all 4 events going on simultaneously. And Amanda, I would imagine at times that can be a little bit of a distraction.
It can be a distraction, but most of these girls are prepared. They compete all year long with many different events going on at the same time, music in the background. In fact, I found it to be more comforting to have more events going on at the same time. Wolf jump to a back handspring quarter.
Cammie, a freshman from Monument, Colorado. And she knows the importance of the beam for Michigan.
Preparing for a dismount. A round off 1.5, great landing. She started with a small wobble, but actually finished a very strong routine.
Over on bars, looking on, there's Greg Marsden, the head coach at the University of Utah, did a remarkable job this year putting the Utes into contention despite a series of devastating injuries, including one to Teresa Kulikowski and also one to Shannon Bowles. Kulikowski was last year's all-round champion. On the bars now for the University of Utah, the junior Teresa Wolf.
Nice, clean, giant full, preparing for her release move right here. Nice Jaeger. You can see them sliding the mats in and out, one for the release move and now one for the dismount. Great double layout. Stuck landing, couldn't ask for any better at this point for Utah.
Teresa missed the NCAA championships a year ago because of an injury. A nice job there. The score for Cammie Singer, 9.625. That's not the start that Michigan wanted. And the score for Teresa Wolf on bars, 9.85. Dan Kindig, who's guided Nebraska to the Super 6 3 of the last 4 years. Different look for Dan this year. He's worn a tux for the team finals in the past, but Nebraska has not done especially well, so something a little less formal for Dan this year. Nebraska on the vault, and Laura Goss, sophomore from Atlanta, is up.
Laura's going to be performing a Yurchenko vault, which is still relatively new to the college scene. It's a nice Arabian out. Great landing.
Coach Kindig likes it. The NCAA Coach of the Year last year. Nebraska came in ranked 4th in the nation in the vault. And nice effort from Laura Goss. There's Valerie Condos-Field of UCLA. She's in an interesting position. She has the 2 seniors. Feels like she knows what to expect there, but the freshmen are the wild card. She just doesn't want them to get overwhelmed by the occasion. 9.85, the number for Laura Goss. And over on the mat, Mohini Bhardwaj, one of the outstanding all-round gymnasts in the nation. She's a junior.
UCLA has incredible tumbling, but what makes them stand out even more is their incredible choreography. Opening with a very difficult double layout. Great landing. Coming back with her second pass. A nice front full front layout. Competed in the World University Games this summer and did very well. One more tumbling pass to go. Ending with a nice double full. Very clean routine.
Mohini Bhardwaj of UCLA, and one school of thought is that it's UCLA's meet to win or lose. If they hit all of their routines as they did in the prelims, they could be unbeatable. Back on the beam, Shannon McKenzie, a sophomore from Michigan, a second-team All-American on the beam last year.
Oh, that is not good for Michigan. That means definitely they'll be counting the 9.625 from Cammie Singer. And that also means that they have no room for mistakes. There's definitely going to be more pressure on the upcoming athletes to hit their routines perfect.
And Amanda, it must be so difficult to regain your composure, your focus after taking a fall like that.
It can be very difficult, but these girls practice this every day. They fall, they get back up, they finish the routine. So I know that they can handle it. Been a very solid routine since the mistake. Been able to pull it back together. Getting ready for a dismount. And be off the side, standing full. Great landing.
And a consoling hug from Bev Pawlaki. Let's take another look, Amanda.
Her tumbling series. Watch her hips and her shoulders. They need to stay directly over the beam, and she loses it right there in her hips.
So pressure on Michigan early, 9.25 for Shannon McKenzie. Over on the floor, Mohini Bahardwaj, 9.9. And we're underway in Boise.
CBS Sports presents the NCAA Women's Gymnastics Championships. Sponsored by Monostat, the #1 doctor-recommended brand for the treatment of yeast infection. And by Payne-Weber. Thank you, Payne-Weber.
One in the nation early in the season, but then the injuries hit, including one to last year's all-around champion, Teresa Kulikowski. She tore her ACL 3 weeks into the season, but Utah wouldn't give in to adversity.
Every time something happened, our seniors got everybody together, and it just refocused everybody. Somebody else stepped up, and we just continued to be competitive and not give up and not make excuses throughout the season. That has been tremendously rewarding for a coach to see a group of athletes, a lot of which you really didn't expect to use that much this year, and suddenly you're using them a lot. And in fact, you're depending on them to be competitive. And, you know, they've risen to that occasion and done a great job for us, or we wouldn't be here.
Well, one of those seniors is Jenny Schmidt from Kenosha, Wisconsin, and she's up on bars for Utah.
A nice giant full to a Tkachev. Utah has great form, very precise toe point. Nice Ginger to a shoot over. An interesting transition move. That was a free up heck to the high bar. Looking for a clean dismount here. Nice double tuck with a small hop. But it was an overall great routine for Utah.
Jenny has had 2 knee surgeries, so the bar is the only event where she still competes. Over on the floor exercise, one of the co-captains and one of the 2 seniors from UCLA, Lena Dikteva.
Very clean front full.
Born in the Ukraine, moved to Canada at the age of 13, a 9-time All-America. Her mother, Svetlana, was a gymnastics coach in the former Soviet Union, and her sister, Marina, competes for LSU.
Comes her last tumbling pass. Nice double full. You'll see UCLA focusing very closely on their landings.
Lena Dikteva from UCLA. Valerie Kondos Field expects that kind of consistency from her seniors. Jenny Schmidt over on bars for Utah, 9.825. For Dikteva, 9.875 for UCLA. And more bad news from Michigan on the beam. Karina Senior, 9.20.
Once again, the beam's only 4 inches wide. You can see her shoulders drift slightly to the right, and that's all it takes.
So a second fall, and Bev Pawlaki knows they'll count that. A disastrous start for Michigan. Sarah Kane, the #1 ranked all-round gymnast in the nation coming into the Nationals, will be next for Michigan. Also ranked #1 in the vault, but has recorded a perfect 10 on beam. But even a perfect score won't help Michigan here.
The pressure is on. She's preparing for her tumbling series. Back handspring layout, back handspring, very solid.
Sarah finished tied for second in the all-round, 25 thousandths of a point behind Heather Brink of Nebraska. Michigan came in with hopes of winning their first ever women's national title. Again, they were ranked #1 in the country coming in here to Boise.
Nice to sewn to a back handspring quarter. It has been a very solid routine thus far, preparing for her dismount. Nice run off double tuck, very difficult with a perfect landing.
Sarah Kane providing a ray of sunshine for the University of Michigan. And over on the vault, there is the all-round champion, Heather Brink. Her mom, Gloria, looking on. Heather, a senior from Lincoln, Nebraska, the most honored gymnast in Nebraska history.
She's performing a very difficult vault, Yurchenko 1.5. Great landing.
Well, she scored perfect 10s 3 times in the vault this season. The first perfect scores in 25 years of women's gymnastics at Nebraska.
She performs a round off onto the board, a back handspring up to the vault, and a 1.5 twist off with a great landing.
9.95 for Heather Brink in the vault. A nice start for Nebraska. Over on the beam, 9.85 for Sarah Kane of Michigan. And here's Heidi Moneymaker, senior from UCLA, on the floor. She's one of the last links to UCLA's national championship team of 1997. Heidi, along with Lena Dikteva, were freshmen when UCLA won it all in '97.
That double tuck that she performed was her second pass. Very clean, great landings. Unbelievable choreography in this routine. For her last tumbling pass. Very clean, double full.
Heidi Moneymaker, co-captain along with Lena Dikteva. Her mother Linda, her sister Liz. And a nice effort from Heidi Moneymaker.
Let's take a look at her second tumbling pass. Nice double tuck. Very clean, great position, and a great landing.
Just the kind of start UCLA was looking for. 9.90 for Heidi Moneymaker. So the standings after the first rotation, UCLA, Nebraska, Utah, and Michigan. Tough beginning for Bev Polacki, and she's with the third member of our broadcast team, Bonnie Bernstein.
It's kind of a curse and a blessing. You compete beam, but it's tough to start out with. But the good news is you got it out of the way. You had to count a fall, though.
Yeah, we did. It was not the start we were hoping for, but we had some rough beam yesterday, and I think the kids were just lacking a little bit of confidence. You know, under this kind of pressure, it's so difficult, but I'm really proud of my kids. We've had a great season, and we're going to try to come back and do well in the next 3 events.
Thank you. Bill?
Thank you, Bonnie. The 2-time defending national champions, Georgia, will start on the bars when we return to Boise. Knows that the team has a chance to accomplish something special.
Great teams take risks. Great teams compete to win. And a great team is going to win. If we win, we've accomplished a great deed. 3-time NCAA champions, 3-peat, 3 times in a row. And very few teams, there's probably a handful in any sport, have ever done that. And only a great team will do that, but we've got to take great risks. Courage, greatness, team. 1, 2, 3.
Suzanne Yocklin has coached Georgia to 5 national championships. The only team to win 3 in a row was the University of Utah. They won 5 straight from 1982 to 1986. Rotation number 2, UCLA on the vault, Georgia on the bars, Utah on beam. Alabama on the floor exercise, and Michigan and Nebraska have byes. Dave Litchie, whose daughter Christy is about to perform her routine on the bars. Christy's sister Karen has gone on and graduated, so the leadership role for the Georgia Gym Dogs has really fallen on the shoulders of Christy.
And along with Karen, they lost 3 other seniors, and it has given Christy the chance to grow into the leadership role this year. She only has the dismount left, ending with a difficult double layout, looking for a good landing. Oh, a slight hop. Georgia needs to really focus on the landings because they need every 10th at this point.
Over on the vault, where UCLA is ranked #1, is one of those freshmen that we spoke about earlier, Kristen Parker.
Nice handspring, pike front half with a great landing.
Kristen, who came back after 2 years away from gymnastics and won the National Bars Championship at level 10. That's the level just below elite and Olympic caliber. Christine Litchie, 9.775, and you can tell by her expression that's a disappointment. And for Kristen Parker, a 9.90. So the good news continues for UCLA. Utah is on the beam, and this is the senior Denise Jones.
Her tumbling series, back handspring layout.
And you sense that Utah is gaining confidence. Denise from Carmichael, California.
She looks very comfortable, very confident.
Utah came in ranked #2 in the nation on this apparatus.
Her leap series, switch leap to a straddle jump, to another straddle jump. Every gymnast is required to do a leap series, a tumbling series, a gym acro, a mount, and a dismount. Here comes her dismount, cartwheel full off the side.
Denise Jones, and suddenly the Utah Utes are right in it. Watching over on floor, there's Sarah Patterson in her 20th year at the University of Alabama. Led the Tide to 3 national championships, the last in 1996. Andrea Pickens is Alabama's outstanding sophomore. She spent 4 weeks this season ranked #1 all around. Her stepfather, Byron, and to his right, here's her mother, Denise. And Denise has to turn away. She says she cannot watch her daughter perform.
Well, Andrea is definitely a great competitor. She was a 4-time national team member. In fact, she finished 12th at the Olympic trials in 1996. Her opening tumbling pass, front through to double tuck. Great landing.
Andrea was an academic all-SEC majoring in biology last year from Houston, Texas.
Now her second tumbling pass. Front full to a front tuck. She actually used this routine last year. So it's very familiar to her. You can tell she's very comfortable getting into it. One tumbling pass to go. Catching her breath. She's going to end with a double full. Very nice routine by Andrea.
Well, Byron likes it. And Denise can turn around. She hears the cheers. A big smile for her daughter. Meanwhile, Utah continues to roll along on beam. 9.825 for Denise Jones. For Andrea Pickens, 9.85. Set on the vault, Lena Dikteva.
She'll be performing another Yurchenko vault. Arabian out in the laid out position. Great landing. Let's take another look at it. The round off onto the board. Straight body, great position in the air. And an almost perfect landing.
Lena Dikteva, and another 9.90 for UCLA on the vault. So things continue to go well for the Bruins. Mohini Bhardwaj will be up next when we come back. We'll be up next on vault, and we asked Valerie Kondos-Field about the challenges that Mohini has faced at UCLA.
Mohini has come to us with a bit of a struggle academically, with a bit of a struggle socially, kind of like really testing the boundaries. And it's been nice because a lot of people didn't think she would last. And not only has she lasted, but she's turned into a phenomenal leader. You can always count on Mo to hit under pressure. She's just a real success story.
Her name means illusion in Hindi, but what she's brought to the Bruins has been very real.
She's performing one of the most difficult vaults of the day, Yurchenko 1.5. Great landing. That vault was also done by Heather Brink.
Mohini tied for second in the all-round competition. She's looking for her first national team championship. She wasn't around in 1997, the year that UCLA won it. And a 9.90 for Mohini Bhardwaj, and that is 3 9.90s for UCLA on vault. Brooke Anderson, a senior, is up next on the bars, and so far it's been an uninspired rotation for Georgia.
Opening with a nice Takachev to straddle back handstand. And Brooke actually tore her ACL in 1997 when she was a sophomore. She's been able to come back. She competed very little in 98 and is back this year with a great routine on the bars.
Georgia looking for some kind of spark. Kristen Sterner, a freshman from Alabama, is underway on the floor. She won the floor exercise at the Junior Olympics last year and was second in the all-round in that event.
She's getting ready for her second tumbling pass. Nice high double tuck.
Alabama came in ranked 5th in the nation in the floor exercise, so solid on the floor, but not their strongest event.
Getting ready for her final tumbling pass. Great double pike. That is very difficult to do at the end of her routine.
Well, her teammates like it. Kristen Sterner from the University of Alabama. And the score for Brooke Anderson on the bars, a 9.80. And for Sterner, 9.875 on the floor. And while Kristen Sterner was competing in the floor exercise, here was Heidi Moneymaker getting ready on the vault. Heidi with 2 perfect scores recorded this year in the vault.
She was the 99 champion on the vault, and you'll see why. She does a handspring pike front half, great landing.
Her mom, Linda, among the Bruin faithful who have made the trip here to Boise. And a big smile from the senior co-captain, Heidi Moneymaker.
And here it is again. A handspring. You will see a slight separation in her legs. A very clean position in the air, and a great landing.
Another wonderful effort from the senior co-captain, and a 9.90, and that is 4 9.90s in the vault for UCLA. Over on the beam, this is Ashley Keever from Utah.
Here's her flight series. Gainer back handspring layout. Very solid.
Ashley carries a 3.8 GPA and plans to go to law school. She's already been accepted at Utah and is interviewed at the University of Texas Law School.
Ashley actually tied for first place on the beam at the NCAA Regional Championships. It's a very solid competitor. Nice tour jeté.
Ashley has battled injuries throughout her career. She dislocated her shoulder as a freshman, had ankle surgery, 2 severe ankle sprains, a hyperextended knee. The sport oftentimes can be so grueling.
And here comes the dismount. A front full. Stuck landing.
Ashley Keever, another of those Utah seniors who have really stepped up this year. And the score for Ashley, a 9.85. So a strong beam for the University of Utah. In the standings, after 2 rotations, UCLA and Utah are 1 and 2. But a better way to look at it is the scoring average. There it's UCLA, Alabama, Nebraska, Utah, Georgia, and Michigan. Again, here's Bonnie.
Valerie Condos Field and her UCLA Bruins at first place after 2 events. You counted 4 9-9s on vault. You can't get much better than that.
We actually could have. We didn't have the best vaulting night we've ever had. So, yeah, I'm very pleased again with how our freshmen are doing. Our upperclassmen are doing what they've done all season for the last few years. So that's status quo for them. But I can't say enough about our freshmen.
Thanks, Valerie.
Thank you.
The Bruins will have a bye in the 3rd rotation and will return to Boise after this message and a word from your local station. Boise State University and the NCAA Women's Gymnastics Championship. And the order for the 3rd rotation: Alabama on the vault, Nebraska on bars, Georgia on beam, and Michigan in the floor exercise. UCLA and Utah have byes in the 3rd rotation. Dan Kindig, Nebraska currently tied for 2nd with Alabama based on the scoring average. Nebraska's best finish ever was 4th in 1989. And set to go, here's Amy Ringo, a junior from Phoenix. And Amanda, as Amy gets ready, what are the things the judges are looking for on bars?
Well, some of the most important things is they want to see fluid swinging. Obviously, they want to hit full handstands. Of course, great form, pointed toes, straight knees, and also stuck landings. Each gymnast is required to do a release move, which we saw her do already. Here's her second one, a straddle back. She didn't quite make it all the way to a handstand, so that will be a deduction. And here's her dismount, double layout, great landing.
Nebraska trying to keep some of that positive momentum going. Michigan is over on the floor exercise. There's Bridget Knebel, the junior. University of Michigan came in ranked #1 in the nation in the floor exercise, and Bridget Knebel was a first-team All-American in this event last year.
Preparing for a tumbling pass. A nice, clean double full.
If you're just joining us, Michigan trying to recover from a disastrous beam rotation. They came in ranked as the #1 team in the nation, and now just trying to climb back in it.
And here comes her final tumbling run. Front handspring, fly spring, front full.
Bridget scored a 9.90 in the floor exercise at the NCAA championships a year ago. Amy Ringo on bars for Nebraska, 9.80. And for Bridget, 9.875 for Michigan. And while Knebel was on the floor, here was Kathleen Shreves of Georgia on the beam. Georgia has not had a fall, but they've looked tentative. Currently in 5th place, and the beam is a difficult event to try to make up ground.
Now here on the beam, the judges are looking for the requirements. Each gymnast has to perform a tumbling series, a leap series, a gym acro, a full turn, a mount, and a dismount. They're also looking for small wobbles for deductions. Like right there was a deduction, probably about 1/2 of a tenth. That was her leap series, a switch split to a split quarter. And you can see her left knee is wrapped up. She actually tore her ACL last season, but has been able to come back this year and be a strong contributor for the Georgia team. She's getting ready for a dismount. Round of double full. A little bit off balance on the landing. She had a couple wobbles throughout the routine, and nothing major, but I really think it's going to affect the score.
Over on the vault, Katie Horniker from Alabama is up. She scored a career high 9.925 in the vault at regionals. This is her specialty.
She's actually performing a vault called the Phelps, named after my 1996 Olympic teammate, J.C. Phelps. Half on, Arabian off, great landing.
Well, that was solid and should help Alabama take over sole possession of 2nd place from Nebraska.
Let's see it here again. She's going to do a half on onto the horse right here, and a layout half off. Looking for the landing. That is a blind landing, which is a little more difficult.
And the score for Horniker, 9.925, equaling her career best. For Kathleen Shreves, a 9.70 for Georgia. Coming up, Pickens, Brink, Litchie, and Kane when we return to the 2000 Women's Gymnastics Championships. One of the great events on the PGA Tour, the Greater Greensboro Chrysler Classic from the Forest Oaks Country Club. We're back in Boise, and last year as a freshman, Andrea Pickens of Alabama had the best all-around score in the Super 6. She's built on that to have a tremendous sophomore year.
Andrea obviously leads us in her scoring and in what she gives to the team as a gymnast, but I think more than anything, sometimes you have an elite athlete who isn't necessarily the most coachable. And in Andrea's case, she's probably one of the most coachable athletes I've ever worked with. Her mood and her personality, she can lift our team to a different level. And, I just feel like for her, she's accomplished so much. And we talked about it before the championship, that I just want her to relax and go out here and have a good time.
Well, certainly Denise and Byron are having a good time here in Boise. Enjoying Andrea's success. And here is Andrea Pickens, set to go for Alabama on the vault.
We've seen this vault all day. She's going to do a Yurchenko with an Arabian out. Great landing. Pretty much perfect. It should be interesting to see what the judges think of that.
Well, we know what Sarah Patterson thinks of it. We know what Mom and Dad think of it. The SEC Gymnast of the Year, and let's take another look.
She does a Yurchenko on. An Arabian off. Great positioning. Nice and tight. Great landing.
And the score for Andrea Pickens, a 9.95. And there's Heather Brink as Nebraska tries to keep pace with Alabama. Heather was 2nd in bars in the individual competition behind Mohini Bhardwaj.
Heather is a very aggressive athlete. You'll be able to see. Very dynamic. Nice hop full to a Tkachev. It's been almost a perfect routine this far. Looking for a perfect landing. Wow. Great full and dismount.
Heather Brink, the national all-around champion, trying to keep it close for Nebraska.
Let's take another look at her dismount. She's going to do a full twist on the first flip, looking for the landing, and she couldn't have done it better.
.925, and that means that Nebraska falls 25 thousandths of a point behind Alabama. Here's Sarah Kane in the floor exercise.
Great tumbling pass, has a full and a half twist to a double tuck. It's coming back with a very interesting tumbling pass. Watch it here, back handspring half to a front full. Sarah is a senior, and these are some of her final performances of her career. And I know how it feels. Although she's very excited to be here, there has to be some sadness in the back of her mind as well. Great routine thus far, preparing for her last and final tumbling run. Ending with a front full front pike.
Sarah Kane from the University of Michigan. And she has recorded a perfect 10 on the floor this year. Over on beam, Cassie Baer being consoled by Suzanne Yocklin, a 9.40. Let's show you what happened.
Cassie didn't have any falls, but she had a lot of mistakes right here. Double stag ring, the wobble, probably a 1 to 2/10 deduction. She looks a little tentative, and that sometimes actually makes it worse. You make more mistakes when you hold back. Here's another leap series, switch leap. She broke the connection into a straddle jump, and again, another wobble.
Cassie's mother, Debbie.
Hold together on there, baby. Come
Tough
on.
to watch. Sometimes it can be so difficult being a parent at this kind of an event. There's Christy Litchie. She came in ranked #1 in the nation on the beam, and Georgia cannot afford any mistakes.
Christy is a great competitor, and if anybody can handle the pressure for Georgia, it's definitely Christy. Here comes a crucial part of the routine, her tumbling series. Very difficult, back handspring layout, slight wobble. On both the bars and the beam, Georgia has been making their routines, but they've had some small errors, not sticking their dismounts, wobbling here and there, and that's what's cost them so far. Wolf jump into a full turn. Christy's actually their only all-around competitor this year. Standing back tuck. Meeting her gym acro requirement. Getting ready for her dismount. They're looking for a clean landing. Front full, oh, and a big hop there. It's going to be probably a 2/10 of a deduction.
So not a good beam rotation for Georgia.
Let's take another look at the dismount. A front full. She takes a big hop, and that will definitely be a sizable deduction.
Dave Litchie going through every moment with his daughter. And the score for Christy, a 9.775. Standings after 3 rotations, UCLA with a comfortable lead. The troubles continue for the 2-time defending national champions, and Bonnie Bernstein is with Suzanne Yocklin.
All right, Suzanne, 5th place after 2 events, but how much do we have to keep in mind that your first 2 events were probably your toughest in bars and beam?
They absolutely were our toughest, and we didn't have great performances there. We didn't trash the events, but we didn't have great performances, but we look forward to doing floor and vault because we're strong in those events.
All right, Suzanne, good luck down the stretch.
Bonnie, thank you. Heather Brink is coming up next, and we'll show you the individual champions.
Sports presents the NCAA Women's Gymnastics Championships. Sponsored by Glade Plug-in Scented Oils for freshness that won't fade away. And by Degree, the body heat activated antiperspirant.
Back in Boise, Idaho, and the pavilion at Boise State University. Between rotations 3 and 4, UCLA currently leading. Part of the NCAA championships are the individual titles. That was held earlier. And for more, here's Bonnie Bernstein.
On the balance beam, Lena Dekteva, one of UCLA's big three, won the title. Ironically enough, Dekteva earned All-American status last year on every event except beam. This year, she rounded it out with a score of 9.913. Dekteva not alone in earning individual finals honors this year. Bruin teammate Mahini Bhardwaj also showcasing her talents. She scored a 9.95 on bars to take the title. Earlier this season, Bhardwaj won bars, beam, and the all-around at regionals. Part of the two-time defending champion Georgia Gym Dogs, strutted her stuff on the floor. She scored a 9.95 to win the title. But without question, the shining star of this year's Nationals, Nebraska senior Heather Brink. Brink won the all-around in the preliminaries, sealing the title with a floor routine that went 9.95. All part of a season where Brink became the most decorated gymnast in Husker school history.
This year, it's just been totally positive from her. She's worked extremely hard. She's probably the last one in the gym most of the days. Actually out there still training routines, trying to fix those little final details to make things a little bit better.
Brink's success continued in the individual finals on the vault. She's gone a perfect 10 3 times this season. She had to settle for a 9.95 this time around. Still good enough to give her the title with a beautiful full twisting Sukahara.
I've worked so hard this year. I feel like I've put so much effort and so much dedication into this year, and it's just capped off a tremendous 4 years for me. There's so many talented girls out there, and I'm honored to win.
Heather Brink has had such a wonderful season. She's getting ready for her beam routine. Nebraska currently is third. And over on the bars, there's Heidi Moneymaker. UCLA is in the lead, and we'll have the fourth rotation when we return. Spectacular start. Near perfection on both the floor exercise and the vault. Much to the delight of the Bruin faithful. 9-time champion Utah remains within striking distance after a solid beam rotation. But that 4-inch wide piece of wood can be fickle, and Michigan's first rotation problems seems to have sealed their fate in the quest for the national title. Back in Boise in the NCAA Women's Gymnastics Championships, Bill McAtee along with Amanda Borden. And Amanda, as is so often the case, the stories that we've seen unfolding today predominantly revolve around the beam.
That's right. We've seen Michigan trying to recover from a very disastrous performance, while Utah, on the other hand, hit 6 for 6 with a very strong performance, which may have put them in contention. Now, UCLA is ending on that event, and that's where they're most vulnerable.
Here are the standings entering the fourth rotation. It's UCLA, followed by Alabama, Nebraska, Utah, Georgia, and Michigan is in 6th place. Michigan will be at the vault, UCLA on bars, Nebraska on beam, Utah on the floor exercise, and Alabama and Georgia have byes. Well, UCLA knows they're close. After winning in 1997, Val Condos was disappointed in their 5th place finishes in 1998 and 1999. And here is one of those talented freshmen, Ani Willis.
Stanley was a 1998 level 10 national all-around champion, as well as the vault and the beam. Very strong competitor. Nice high to Tkachev. Val said she was worried about her freshmen not being able to handle the pressure, and it looks like they're doing a great job so far. Double front, half dismount, great landing.
Over on the beam, underway, Heather Brink from Nebraska.
As you saw her scores, Heather's probably one of the most consistent competitors in this competition. Leap series of switch leap, switch leap.
Normally, your best gymnast will go last in the rotation, but Heather prefers to go first.
Being first is a very important position. You want to have a nice routine, very clean, good score, so the team feels confident.
Nebraska ranks 7th in the nation in the beam coming in.
Getting ready to dismount. She's a very difficult dismount. Round off double tuck. Great landing, a small hop.
So Heather Brink trying to set the tone for Nebraska on the beam. Ani Willis, a 9.85 for UCLA on bars. And Heather Brink, a 9.85. Nebraska unable to make up any ground. Over on the vault, that's Janessa Greco. She was the Big Ten Freshman of the Year.
Beautiful handspring pike front half. Perfect landing.
Her mom and dad, Guy and Leanna. Janessa finished 3rd in the vault in the individual competition, and Michigan rebounding nicely since the unfortunate start on the beam. Over at the floor exercise, Denise Jones for Utah.
Nice double pike.
Utah ranked 4th in the nation in the floor exercise coming into the Nationals. We've mentioned Utah's record 9 NCAA national championships, but they haven't finished higher than 3rd since 1995. And last year, when the event was held on their home floor, they didn't make it to the Super 6. Now the Utes continuing their fine showing. Denise Jones, a nice effort on the floor exercise. The score for Janessa Greco, a 9.90. And for Jones, also a 9.90 over on the floor exercise. Still to come, the UCLA stalwarts, Stukpeva and Bahardwaj after this message and a word from your local station. 2000 NCAA Women's Gymnastics Championships from the beautiful Treasure Valley in Boise, Idaho. There's Greg Marsden. He's seen his Utah Utes drift down to 4th place. So trying to move up on the floor exercise. That's Deidre Graham, a 4'11 sophomore, and the consensus is that Deidre has the potential to be one of the best all-round gymnasts in the country, but has been competing in the shadow of Teresa Kulikowski and Shannon Bowles, so their injuries has given Deidre a chance to shine.
Opening with a great double pike. And performing to music from Jaws. Very interesting choice.
Her best events are here on the floor and on the bars, where she was an All-America last year.
Getting ready for her second tumbling pass. In a front half to a layout and step out. One more tumbling pass to go. Ending with another front tumbling pass, a front layout to a front pike. Very clean routine for Deidre.
Deidre Graham from Utah. Congratulations from her teammates. Lena Dikteva, ready for UCLA. She tied for third on bars in the individual competition.
The entire UCLA team is very clean and very precise in this event. That was a beautiful pike Jaeger. You'll never see her legs come apart throughout the entire routine. Getting ready for the dismount. Nice full in. A small step on the landing, but a great routine.
Lena is a Canadian citizen, but wants to stay in the U.S. after she graduates from UCLA. And Valerie Condos Field even considered adopting her to help her do that, but found out you can't legally adopt someone over the age of 18. The score for Deidre Graham on the floor, 9.875. And for Dikteva, a 9.90. So UCLA continues to be impressive. On the beam, this is A.J. Lamb, a freshman, one of the most highly recruited gymnasts in the country, but decided to stay home in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Her two older sisters are a part of the team. They're seniors, one the team manager, and one is not competing due to an injury. But I'm sure that had a lot to do with her staying here in Nebraska.
A.J., a three-time Junior Olympics national champion. Nebraska with a very talented freshman class. And they should be a presence here for years to come.
Nice straddle jump series. This has been a very clean routine thus far. Getting ready for a dismount. Gainer full off the side with a stuck landing.
A.J. Lamb from Nebraska.
Here comes A.J.'s mount. A punch front on. Very difficult because you cannot see the beam before it hits you.
And the score for A.J., a 9.80. Mohini Bhardwaj is the individual bars champion for UCLA. Valerie Condos Field looking on.
Nice high ginger. Something we haven't seen yet, swinging backwards into a nice straddle back handstand. Getting ready for a dismount. She is one of the most difficult dismounts in the competition. Double layout, full out with a great landing.
Wow, she nailed it. The feeling was that UCLA would have to make a mistake to let anyone else in, but the Bruins so far have been flawless.
Here's another look at her release move. It's a ginger, no form deductions. And also this dismount. Double layout with a full twist on the last flip. Great job.
The score for Bhardwaj, 9.95. So the standings after 4 rotations, UCLA, Utah, Nebraska, and Michigan. And the scoring average, it's UCLA, Alabama, and Utah. Let's go to Bonnie Bernstein, who's with Dan Kindig.
Dan, if you think about this time last year, it was falls on beam and bars that took you out of contention. Things are a lot different this time around, huh?
Yeah, they are. This is a lot more fun. And this whole season's been this way, where they've fought all year long. They've worked extremely hard throughout the whole course of the season. And this is just a reward for what they've done all year and the effort that they put in and the determination that they have.
Safe to say you can't say enough about Heather Brink, who in the preliminary round won the all-around competition.
She just keeps on shining. I'll tell you what, an athlete like that just committed herself this whole year to give it her best and have this be her best year and come out like this. I mean, it almost makes you want to cry.
Well, we'll save that for later.
Okay.
Dan, thanks. Phil?
Thank you, Bonnie. UCLA marching toward the national championship. When we return, the Bruins will try to slay the demons of a year ago on the beat. Got to know more? Get the most in-depth sports coverage on the web at cbs.sportsline.com or on America Online, keyword CBS Sportsline. The fifth rotation, Utah at the vault, Alabama on bars, the beam for UCLA. Georgia's at the floor exercise. Michigan and Nebraska have byes. Valerie Kondos Field one rotation away from her second national championship. But she knows that UCLA was in a similar position in the regionals and fell 3 times on the beam. She's talking to Donnie Thompson, who will lead off, and Val told us that Donnie knows how important this event is. She's feeling the pressure a little bit. Donnie is not really her usual freshman. 6 years ago, she burst onto the national scene by winning the all-round at the 1994 Olympic Festival. Lost her passion for the sport, took a 3-year break, concentrated on diving, but decided that it was time for a comeback.
I kind of started coming back working out just for fun. There was no pressure at all, and I didn't let people really know I was going to be competitive for like a year, and I decided I wanted to get back into it because I really miss competing. It's just a new atmosphere. Everybody's really happy. Everybody's always up. Your team is there to support you 100%. And it's just like, it's a little family. It's great.
And Amanda, she had a real shot at making your Olympic team in 1996 before deciding to leave the sport for that hiatus.
Well, I think it's very hard when you lose your passion, when you lose your love. It's hard to train as much as it takes to make the Olympics, but it's nice to see her back and enjoying it again.
Now, we'll be able to tell very early on whether or not she's nervous, and she certainly didn't look so there.
Solid flight series. Donnie has one of the most important positions here, starting off the team on the balance beam, getting her team into rhythm.
After a long layoff, what are the most difficult things to get back?
I think your physical condition is the most important thing, making sure you're strong enough and flexible enough to be able to do the skills that you once did.
Well, you were teammates at one point. Does she look like she's lost anything?
Definitely not. In fact, I think that she's actually matured into the sport. She seems much more confident, much more poised. This is a very tough position to be in, and she's handling the pressure very well. Getting ready for her dismount. A round off, 1.5, with a small step on the landing, but the Bruins have to be excited about that.
One down. Utah is on the vault. There's Kim Allen, a freshman, a member of the Canadian national team.
She's performing a Yurchenko Arabian. Great landing.
And Kim is excited. It may be too late to catch UCLA, but Utah definitely battling for second. Donnie Thompson over on beam, 9.80. That will get it done. And for Kim, 9.90 on the vault. Now, Alabama is currently in second place. And there's concern from Sarah Patterson, and here's why. Kristen Sterner of Alabama fell on the bars. Her score 9.30, and let's show you what happened.
She's performing a pike Jaeger. Looks like it's going to be pretty good, but her hands just don't stay on the bar. Let's take another look at it. Her wrist actually hits the bar first before she can get her grip around, and they just slip right off.
So again, they throw out the low, so if the rest of the routines are clean, Alabama won't have to count it. And up is the sophomore sensation, Andrea Pickens.
Andrea actually competed this exact routine at the 1996 Olympic trials.
She tied for third on the bars in the individual competition.
Her third release move at Tkachev, into her fourth, a straddle back handstand. Getting ready for the dismount. Nice full in, great landing.
Well, that'll help alleviate some of the concern for Sarah Patterson. Another outstanding routine from Andrea Pickens. Over on the floor, Brooke Anderson, the senior from Marietta, Georgia. Georgia currently in 6th place.
Nice front full to a front pike, very clean.
And at this point for Georgia, it's no longer about the three-peat, but it's about making a respectable showing. The floor, normally one of the solid events for Georgia. They came in ranked number 2 in the nation behind Michigan.
Getting ready for her last tumbling pass. A whip immediate double full.
Brooke Anderson of Georgia. And a hug from Suzanne Yacklin. Meanwhile, the score for Andrea Pickens, 9.925 on the bars for Alabama. And for Brooke Anderson, a 9.90 on the floor. So Georgia making their way up the standings. And over on the beam, Heidi Moneymaker of UCLA.
Heidi has gorgeous choreography in this routine. You would never guess she's performing on 4 inches. Very aggressive. Nice back handspring split jump. Getting ready for her dismount. Very difficult. Round off double tuck, looking for a perfect landing. Great job.
And the smiles get bigger with every routine. UCLA on the verge of the national championship. For Heidi Moneymaker, 9.85. UCLA inching ever closer to the national championship. For the University of Utah on the vault, here's Teresa Wolf.
Performing a beautiful Yurchenko Arabian. And Utah is fighting for every 10th that they can get right now.
Over on the beam, Lena Dikteva of UCLA, and she is the individual champion on this apparatus. And this is important because Dikteva would give UCLA 5 clean routines. That means that the Bruins will be protected, and Mohini Bhardwaj can only make the score better. If she falls, it won't count.
What makes Lena so good at this event is that she has the difficulty, but more important, she hits it to perfection. Comes her leap series. Switch leap to a wolf jump. Getting ready for the dismount. A round off full, she chose more conservative dismount, looking for a perfect landing.
And that might be all UCLA needs. Her Bruins have done everything that Valerie Condos Field asked of them. The score for Teresa Wolf for Utah, a 9.90. That will move them up in the standings. But with that 9.825 from Dictava, Utah is mathematically eliminated from the championship chase. Meanwhile, Georgia is putting together a nice little run over on the floor exercise. This is Talia Vexler, a sophomore. She finished 4th in the floor exercise in the individual competition.
Talia had a difficult 1999 season due to shin surgery, as well as spraining her knee 2 weeks before the regionals last year, which left her sidelined watching her team win the championship.
Georgia will host the NCAA Women's Gymnastics Championships a year from now.
Ending with a difficult double pike.
Talia Vexler of Georgia. Denise Jones of Utah is next on the vault.
A beautiful pike front half.
And keep in mind that a strong showing on the vault could move Utah into 2nd place. The score for Vexler, a 9.90. Very strong for Georgia. And awaiting the mark for Denise Jones, a 9.90. And now the individual floor champion, Suzanne Sears from Georgia. She came into the Nationals ranked number 2 in the country on the floor and became the 13th gymnast from Georgia to win an individual title.
Watch this first pass. She's going to start out with a double tuck, right into a punch front, back down the floor to a double full with another punch front.
She had the first 10 of her career. Came in the floor exercise earlier this season in a dual meet against Michigan.
Suzanne is a very powerful athlete, as we just saw with those jumps, and of course her outstanding tumbling.
A reminder that coming up next, Greater Greensboro Chrysler Classic, and Suzanne's father, Larry, once played on the PGA Tour.
Preparing for her last tumbling pass here. Nice double pike, great height.
Suzanne Sears of Georgia. And this has been a nice comeback for the Gym Dogs. While Sears was on the floor, here was Mohini Bhardwaj in the final spot for UCLA on beam. And she finished 2nd in the individual competition on this apparatus to her teammate Lena Dictava. Again, UCLA has 5 clean routines.
She's preparing for a dismount. Very difficult run-up double tuck. It's a great landing.
Well, her teammates know they have done everything but mathematically win the national championship. The standings after 5 rotations, UCLA and Utah 1 and 2. The scoring average, UCLA, Utah, and Alabama. Back in Boise and the NCAA Women's Gymnastics Championships. As we get set for the final rotation, let's go down to Bonnie Bernstein.
Well, Bill, for as bizarre of a season as Utah has had, we have to add more injury to injury. In warm-ups, Greg Marston was spotting on floor and pulled his hamstring. Could anything else possibly happen?
It's been a wild year, but I'll tell you, this group, never said quit. They never made excuses, and they did a wonderful job tonight. Other than a couple steps on landings, I don't think we could have competed much better.
Obviously, we have to wait for the final rotation, but when you look big picture, this team easily could have folded after the 3rd meet of the season when Teresa Kulikowski blew out her ACL. Why didn't they?
Well, we've got a great group of seniors, 4 seniors who really, they were not going to let this not be a great ending season for them. And every time something happened, they pulled the group together and never lost confidence. And like I say, they never made excuses, never lost focus of what they wanted to accomplish, and they did everything they could to accomplish it.
All right, Greg, great season. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bonnie. Here's rotation 6. Georgia will be at the vault, Michigan on the bars, Alabama on beam, and Nebraska at the floor exercise. UCLA and Utah are done. And here's UCLA unwinding a bit back in the locker room through the preliminaries, and here in the Super 6 final, they didn't have a single fall. Meanwhile, a different story for Georgia. Suzanne Yocklin seeing the Gym Dogs National Championship run come to an end after 2 consecutive national titles. And here is Monica Flammer, freshman from Spring, Texas. Anything short of a perfect score will mathematically eliminate Georgia.
It was a nice Yurchenko Arabian, but there was a slight hop in the end.
Monica has averaged a 9.815 in her last 5 vault attempts. Over on the floor for Nebraska, Laura Goss.
Whip, 1.5 immediate punch front.
And Nebraska is in a similar position to Georgia. Anything short of perfection, and they too will be mathematically eliminated.
One tumbling pass left. Ending with a nice 1.5 punch to a Shushanova.
Well, Nebraska looking for their best showing ever in the Super 6. The number for Flammer, 9.875. So Georgia is officially gone, and Laura Goss, a 9.85. A nice routine, but Nebraska is officially eliminated. Alabama, remember, trying to catch Utah for 2nd place. There's Dara Stewart. She scored a 9.70, and let's see if we can tell what happened.
Dara had a lot of wobbles throughout and capped the routine off with this dismount with another large deduction.
So Kristen Sterner will be next for Alabama on the beam.
Preparing for our tumbling series. Back handspring, layout, step out. Nice straddle jump series. Slight wobble on the switch side there. Getting ready for the dismount. A round off full twist. It's a great landing.
Now awaiting the score, and anything short of a 9.875 will eliminate Alabama and give UCLA the national championship. And the score, 9.775. And that means that UCLA has won the national title.
Stay right there, because that's going to have a banner across it. The 2000 national.
Good job, freshman.
Country Club, that's following the NCAA Women's Gymnastics Championship. And we're back in Boise, and the final routine of her collegiate career for Sarah Kane of Michigan. Mom Julie looking on, and what a stellar career it has been for this young lady.
Nice to Tkachev. Right back up to handstand. Into her second release move, a nice pike Jaeger. Sarah's been very consistent in this competition. Looking for a strong dismount, double layout with a small step.
Well, regardless of what happens, it will be a disappointing 6th place finish for Michigan, and the first time that a team ranked number nationals has finished in the final spot in the Super 6. A 9.85 for Sarah Kane. Christy Litchie from Georgia. There are her numbers thus far. Her final apparatus.
Christy is a very strong vaulter. She'll be performing a handspring pike front half. Great landing. That could be almost a perfect score, I believe.
Well, we haven't had a perfect 10 thus far in the competition.
Watch this again. Beautiful height off the horse, great positioning, and not a single step.
You heard the crowd chanting 10, 10, 10, and the judges agree. A perfect score for Christy Litchie. And what a job Georgia has done. Remember, a short time ago, they were in 6th place. On the beam, Lissy Smith from Alabama.
Nice standing layout step out to immediate wolf jump. Doing everything they can to hold on to 3rd place right now. Getting ready for the dismount. Round off double full. There was a step that will be a deduction. It was a very solid routine.
Lissy Smith from Alabama. Amanda Curry is set to go over on the vault for Georgia. Amanda suffered a strained calf muscle. This was a short time ago in the warm-up. She was in tears, initially taken out, but then Amanda asked to be allowed to come back and compete. So a gutsy effort from Amanda Curry for Suzanne Yocklin and the Georgia Gym Dogs. Curry. The score for Lissy Smith, 9.75. Georgia needs a 9.9 from Amanda Curry to move into 2nd place.
Also performing a handspring pike front half.
Well, trying to put what she knew would be a painful landing out of her mind. A gutsy performance from Amanda Curry.
Here's another look. It's a great vault Pike front half. You can see she's kind of favoring her right leg, and she's a little bit off balance on the landing.
And the score for Amanda Curry, 9.8. That won't be enough to move Georgia up. Heather Brink, the all-around champion for Nebraska, on the floor exercise, closing out her career at the University of Nebraska. Once again, the most decorated gymnast in Nebraska history.
What an event for Heather to end on. She's extremely powerful. As you saw, she opened with a beautiful double layout. Coming back with a whip half, front full.
She needs at least a 9.7 to clinch 4th place for Nebraska, and that would tie the Cornhuskers' best showing ever in the Super 6.
Heather has actually talked about coming back and competing at this year's USA Championships in the fall. Getting ready for the last tumbling pass of her career as an NCAA athlete. Nice double tuck, great landing.
Heather Brink of Nebraska, and there's her mom, Gloria, as she watches her daughter wrap up her collegiate career.
Let's take another look at this powerful first pass. Double layout. There's a slight leg separation, but very difficult.
Well, a 9.90, that's what they needed, and Nebraska has 4th place as Alabama falls to 5th. It's UCLA, Utah, Georgia, Nebraska, Alabama, followed by Michigan. And back in the locker room, the celebration continues for the newly crowned national champions, UCLA.
Your team's butt is shaking. I like the camera.
And we'll be back to talk to the Bruins right after this.
I got a camera.
The Air Sports presents the NCAA Women's Gymnastics Championships. Sponsored by ChipShop.com. Whatever you need for however you play. And by Monostat, the #1 doctor-recommended brand for the treatment of yeast infections.
UCLA national champions, strong finishes from Utah and Georgia. They finished 2nd and 3rd. The Bruins are down with Bonnie Bernstein.
UCLA national champions for the 2nd time in 4 years. Valerie Condos-Field, before the season even started, you were quoted as saying, this team had the personality that mirrored the personalities of winners. Explain that to me.
I just can sum it up in one word: integrity. Everything they do in life, they do with honesty, integrity, respect for others, and respect for themselves. They are, I know this has been coined and used a lot, but they are a dream team. And they get the job done in the classroom, in their social lives, in their interpersonal relationships, and in the gym. They're incredible people.
Ironically enough, you had the same exact rotation you had last year at Nationals, only Beam was a much different story this year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it definitely was. I don't know. I just think that this team has so much confidence that it doesn't matter where we start. If we want to get the job done, we will, and we wanted it bad enough tonight, and we did it.
Lena, you and Heidi have both scored 10s on vault. You've got countless All-American awards, but how does a national championship compare?
It doesn't. This is more than anything else. I mean, I would take this over an individual title any day, and I think everybody feels the same way.
I saw after Heidi's beam routine, the entire team was crying. Did you kind of have a sense that you had it wrapped up?
Well, all Lena needed to do was hit up there. You know, once the 5th person hit, I felt pretty good, but I came off and realized it was my last beam routine, and I just accomplished what I wanted to accomplish this year, and I went into tears, and I think I kind of brought everybody with me, but I think we were just excited, and we knew that Lena and Mo would hit no matter what.
Well, ladies, job well done. Congratulations to everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bonnie, and it was a day to remember for the UCLA Bruins.
They always talk about hitting 24 for 24, and they did it here today.
UCLA, the national champions. Coming up next, it's the Greater Greensboro Chrysler Classic from the Forest Oaks Country Club in Greensboro, North Carolina. And today we saw perfection on the vault from Christy Litchie. And Heather Brink closed out a wonderful collegiate career at Nebraska. But no one did it better than UCLA. So long from Boise.